In the Parshas Ki Sisa, the Torah records the tragic but dramatic event of the Chet HaEgel, and leading up to it, the Torah tells us the following. In Perek Lamed Beis Pasuk Aleph, Vayara Ha'am ki voshesh Moshe l'Oredes min ha'ar. Moshe Rabbeinu was delayed coming back. Rashi has the entire calculation. Vayikoel ha'am al Aaron. And clearly already the Torah is indicating by the use of this language, doesn't say Vayikoel ha'am el Aaron. They assembled for the purpose of asking him for advice, for Eitzah, but rather Vayikoel ha'am al Aaron. And right away we have an ominous sense of what is about to happen. They are, as it were, ganging up on Aaron, and they issue a pronouncement. They essentially do not, again, solicit his advice, but rather indicate to him, this is what you have to do. Kum, aseh lanu Elohim asher yachol lefaneinu. Go ahead and make for us a God. Ki zeh Moshe ha'ish asher ha'elanu me'eretz Mitzrayim, Moshe Rabbeinu lo yodanu me'hoyolo. Kayadua, there are different shemos of Hashem that the Rishonim accentuate. The shem of Yud Kei Vav Kei, which of course is the shem of Havaya, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, who is L'mala Miderach HaTeva, and then there's the shem Elokim, which represents Teva, represents Midas Hadin. The Ramban many times expatiates on this idea. The shem Elokim represents Ribbon Shalom operating within the Kochas HaTeva, utilizing the forces of nature, the process of photosynthesis, whereby a tree receives nutrients and the like. The Ramban here, in a major analysis of the Chet HaEgel, notes that we're not discussing a Chet that was grounded in Avodah Zarah. Rashi, based on the Medrash, indicates that there were three cardinal sins that they transgressed. Avodah Zarah, Gil Arayis, and Shvichas Damim. The Torah speaks about Vayakum L'Tzachik. The Rashi sees there intimation based on the Medrash of Gil Arayis. The language of Avodah Zarah, that's how Rashi also sees in the Chet, based on Medrash again, and Shvichas Damim, they killed Chur in the process of it, again based on the Medrash. But the Ramban and the Ibn Ezra, Rab Sadigon, and many other Rishonim have a different tack, a different understanding of the Chet HaEgel. They were not actually interested in Avodah Zarah. The Yisod of the Egel and other incidents that occur later on in the Midbar is the following. Klal Yisrael, after Yetzias Mitzrayim, are now operating with a new Hanhaga, a Hanhaga of L'mala Miderach HaTeva. And this began actually in Matan Torah when the Rebbeinu Shalom tells them, Anochi Havaya Lokecha Asher Otzeisecha Me'eretz Mitzrayim. Havaya, as I mentioned, represents the Rebbeinu Shalom L'mala Miderach HaTeva. The Rebbeinu Shalom who performs for us all kinds of miracles, the Rebbeinu Shalom who operates with Klal Yisrael L'mala Miderach HaTeva. And that's what the Rebbeinu Shalom essentially demanded of the Jewish people. Apparently, they were not interested in that kind of Hanhaga. They wanted to operate within the forces of nature. They didn't want to go beyond that. They weren't interested in transcendent, in a miraculous, or if you will, metaphysical kind of approach. They wanted an approach that would be B'derech HaTeva. They wanted, if you will, a Hanhaga of Teva. Where do you see that? So apparently that might be embedded in the Psukim that the Torah here indicates to us when they addressed Aaron HaKohen. We want the Ribbon Shalom as he operates through the Midas Hadin, through the forces of nature, through Teva. That's what we're interested in. We're not interested in Anochi Havaya Lokecha Asher Otzeisecha Me'eretz Mitzrayim. And this is apparently, might very well be the Shakal V'Tanya, if you will, the back and forth, the give and take, the dialogue here that takes place between Aaron HaKohen and Klal Yisrael. There's a well-known story of Rav Belbel Soloveitchik of the Brisker Rov. On Motzei Yom Kippur, Rav Amram Blau, who was one of the Kanoim in Yerushalayim, one of the Zealots in Yerushalayim, came to the Brisker Rov and essentially told him that who's responsible for all the problems in Eretz Yisrael? The Tzionim, those people who are Mizrachist, those that of course have a certain kind of ideology. They are the ones who are to blame. They're the ones that we actually, the onus is on them, and all the difficulties and all the problematic in Eretz Yisrael emanate from them. The Brisker Rov responded that you are totally wrong. You are completely incorrect. And the Brisker Rov mentioned to Rav Amram Blau the following. The Maftir Yonda that we read on Yom Kippur, so there the Navi describes a ship of Ovdei Avodah Zarah, people who are idolaters, and we have Yonah Navi aboard. The fact that they are Ovdei Avodah Zarah itself did not warrant the Almighty HaKadosh Baruch Hu doing anything. He didn't feel the need to respond. He didn't feel the need to go ahead and create a Nachshel Bayam, to create a tempest, to create a whirlwind in the sea. But the fact that a Navi who heard the Dvar Hashem, namely Yonah Navi, and refused to comply and decided to go ahead and escape, he decided to, as the Navi, as Mafti Yonah in itself indicates, that Yonah went to Tarshish. Yonah decided to be Borech L'nei Hashem. That warranted, said the Briskov, a Nachshel Bayam. So the Briskov commented, many of the people that you are accusing are not necessarily totally and fully aware of the Dvar Hashem in its, shall we say, its fullness, and you can't fault them. But we, namely we who are the Bnei Torah, we are the people who are committed to Limud Torah, Shomer Torah mitzvahs. We, in fact, who know the Dvar Hashem and are not striving for higher goals, we are the ones who have to be faulted. That's what the Briskov said to Rav Amram Blau. So often we operate b'derech hateva. We like to operate within nature, and we like to operate with using the kochas hateva and b'derech hateva as well. When it comes to ruchnias, when it comes to spiritual strivings or spiritual accomplishments, we also will stop in b'muad. When it comes to gashmias, when it comes to material matters, there, Baruch Hashem, we are always, shall we say, trying to elevate ourselves to higher levels and to heights of gashmias, of material lifestyle, opulence, affluence, what have you. When it comes to ruchnias, when it comes to spiritual matters, we are often mistaken b'muad. So here, apparently, the lesson the Torah is trying to tell us, a very significant lesson, that we have to actually try to utilize to the extent that we can. B'nei Torah, people who are, and all of us are B'nei Torah, each one in their own madrega, each one in their own level, we have to operate with the Shem Hashem of Yud Kei Vav Kei. We have to try to strive for higher goals, for heights, l'mala b'derech hateva, to be kovei to Torah even more, to be able to learn 15 minutes a day, try to learn a half hour a day, to do more chesed, to do more kindness, to treat others with greater sensitivity, to be more involved in Habas Torah. And also when it comes to this area, that's where we are told, in effect, Anochi Havaya Lokecha Asher Tzitzicha Be'eretz Mitzrayim. That's what we should use, that Shem Hashem, which is L'mala B'derech HaTeva. However, when it comes to Gashmias, when it comes to material matters, when it comes to things of that sort, so then we should operate with what the Torah tells us here, Kum Asilanu Elohim Asher Yachol L'Faneinu. There we should go b'derech hateva. So in fact, there is a remez, there's a kind of hint over here, a very significant hint. And the remez, of course, is to somehow, often we find ourselves, as I said, in one area, perhaps striving for the heights, another area, not as much. So here we have a message, if you will, we can actually have a dialectic. When it comes to the spiritual arena, there we should try to operate with the Almighty, l'mala b'derech hateva. When it comes to the material arena, they should operate with Kuma Seilanu Elohim Asher Yachol L'Faneinu, to operate with Derech HaTeva. I want to wish everyone a Purim Sameach. Purim is a zman, is an opportunity for everyone, not just to be b'simcha, but as Chazal said, or Ramah quotes it, that one should learn Torah before one becomes involved in all kinds of other matters relating to Purim. Like Yehudim Ha'Yisrael, b'simcha b'sasim b'kar, keiti alanu, Ayra is in Torah. Halavai we should be zochem. We should continue to strive for heights in Torah learning, in Chesed, in Be'el V'Chavero, Be'el V'Makom, and thereby find the right balance, the correct formula, the correct harmonious relationship between the times we're supposed to operate with Derech HaTeva and the times we're supposed to operate with Derech HaTeva when it comes to Inyan Ruchniim. Halavai all of us should continue to go La'ela, higher and higher, closer and closer to Hashem Yisbarach, and Be'ezah Hashem to be Zocheh, to a wonderful, wonderful Purim, a Sameach, by Yehudim, by Sa'ar, V'Simcha, V'Zasim B'Kar, came to Yallah.